Hi, my name is Tim Daly. I'm the Executive Director of This Is My Brave Australia. This Is My Brave is dedicated to breaking the stigma surrounding mental illness, one story at a time. We present live theatre shows, cast from the community, telling their stories of lived experience. Our latest show, Giving Stigma the Boot, was presented by the Mental Health Foundation of the ACT.
Our next cast member is Clinch. Ali is an applied theatre facilitator, which is the application of performing arts for social change. Clinch is a director, teacher, actor, singer, dancer, and clown. Ali will be telling her mesmerising story of how her two worlds met in a very unexpected way.
He whistled Mozart. Pale blue socks pulled up within an inch of their lives. Pens, blue, red, black, and a pacer would brush past my leg as I held on to his big, thick, leathery hands, and he pulled me along at his quick pace. They would ask me, "Is that your grandfather?" "No," I would say with my chest puffed out. "That's my dad. He's a commander in the Navy, a captain too, and a navigator." Even as an adult, I would hold his hand as we walked together. He would pull me along with his quick steps, but every now and then I would slow him down with my lingering pace. We grew up worlds apart, 47 years between us. We saw a different world. We saw the world differently, and yet somehow we saw everything exactly the same. This wasn't the first time I got a call from the hospital to say that he'd collapsed. It was Christmas Day. I wondered if it might be his last. The next time St. Nick would visit us, things would be unrecognisably different. The doctor said he'd come out of it, he just needed time. But everything was failing. Everything, that is, except for his heart. His heart was dandy, because those brilliant surgeons had bypassed the something aorta and intercepted the thingamabob and left my dad stopped so close to heaven's door, I'm sure he could feel its warmth. Kidneys failing, collapsed lungs, and a pinch of delirium. And this. He was always so comfortable inside my belly. He really didn't see the great big fuss about being born. He wanted to stay where it was safe, where it was warm. My heartbeat, his soundtrack. My son was 2 weeks late, and I blamed myself, of course, as any mother would. I told him not to come. I begged him to stay put, not while things were like this. I would whisper to my unborn child, "Please, not today, little baby. Stay put, please stay put. Wait until this is all over." And he listened. They induced me the same day my dad's bowel perforated. The two of us, the same hospital. One trying to bring in life and the other desperately trying to leave it. I remember it as though it was yesterday. It was a Tuesday.
It's time for you to begin.
I think this might be the end for him.
I want you to do everything you can to stay calm and relaxed, okay?
Okay.
I'm doing everything I can to keep things tight here. Clamps?
Would you like me to dim the lights? Sometimes that can help.
Oh, okay.
More light. This whole section of bowel is perforated. It's a mess.
Oh.
Don't worry, love. Your contractions are getting closer together now. Breathe.
I don't think this old fella's going to make it. Is he a smoker?
Every contraction is one step closer to baby.
What an awful way to die.
Caesarean. It's been days, honey. You've done everything you possibly could. It's time to get baby out.
Okay.
I'll stitch him up.
They'll cut you open just a little bit and baby will come out.
Okay.
I've done everything I possibly can. It's up to him now.
It's not up to you anymore, honey. Lie back and relax.
He really listened, and he did not come out. So some surgeon who I could walk past in the street and not even recognise cut me open and pulled him out. He didn't cry. He just kind of sighed. Like, oh, I was only doing what you asked me to, Mum. Poor kid. He had such a cone head. Caught en route. I have never touched anything as soft as the skin of a brand new baby. It was a Thursday. For days after he was born, I was mad at every mother I knew. Why hadn't they told me the truth about pregnancy, the truth about childbirth? Why had they lied? I guess there's nothing you can do to prepare yourself, so what's the point in scaring the shit out of naive brand new mums staring at their beautiful first time bellies, dreaming of hypnobirthing and labouring at home? Let them have their dreams. It can't hurt.
Your father is stable.
Your baby is healthy.
You might want to start looking at high-level care. We can't get him to eat here.
The baby is feeding well. I know it's painful, but stick with it.
Okay.
The nurses don't have time to feed him. You need to help.
You're his mother. Without your milk, he needs you.
You're his family. There's nothing more we can do for him here.
He is learning to feed beautifully. How are your nipples?
They hurt.
He'll need to learn to eat again. He's still working on muscles to swallow. He won't be able to manage that ice cream.
I snuck that white chocolate Magnum into his ward anyways. And I sat there and I breastfed my 3-week-old baby as I watched my dad, full of delirium and physical dilapidation, down that ice cream as though his life depended on it. That was the moment I knew. I realised it wasn't up to the doctors or the nurses or the support staff or his friends. I was the one who knew him best. It was up to me. My dad didn't die the day my son was born, but I've never seen him since. Except for the most wonderful 5, maybe 10 seconds when he comes back. Like some sick joke, just as I've digested another wave of grief, he comes back. And it's that voice I remember, and it's the smile he used to have, and it's there. And then it's gone. So the day that my dad didn't die and the day that my son was born was the beginning of something so much more than just motherhood. Because the day that my dad didn't die and he was born was the day I became mother to my son and mother to my father. I'm going to read this last page because of a medical emergency that he had today that stopped me from rehearsing. And the irony has not lost on me that the monologue I want to perform about caring for him couldn't get finished because I was caring for him. It took 1.5 years to work out what I might need to flourish instead of just barely surviving. 3 months before we started the build, as I waited patiently for council to approve our application to build a granny flat for Dad, I experienced my first burnout. So evident it was that my role of mother to both couldn't coexist if I wanted to live also. My body was shutting down, and the very thought of more children made me sick to my stomach. Infection after infection, shingles, weight gain, fatigue. So much fatigue. I pushed through, continuing to function, but it felt like I was wading through oil. The simplest task taking all of my energy. 3.5 years have passed from those days, and on the 21st of September 2018 at 2:35, he moved. He finally moved into Poppy's place, a short 20-metre stroll from my back door. And finally my boys are under the same roof, and I'm no longer pulled in opposing directions. It took me years to figure it out, and daily I need to remind myself that what is good for me is good for my family, all of my family. And from this new view, this new mentality, I will go on. I will go on mothering Father for as long as he needs me.